our immune system is more powerful than we ever thought. So powerful, in fact, that if we had cancer, our immune system can wipe it out, even if the cancer spread. I used to ask the question when I was in medical school, why do people get cancer? Why do people get dementia? Why do people become obese? Those are reasonable questions to ask, and that's how researchers ask those questions. And I'm sure many of you will be asking that same questions, like, why do we get sick? What we can figure that answer. I want to tell you how I upended that entire concept because I ask a different question now. I ask, why don't we get sick more often? Why don't we get sick more often? How come kids don't get sick, seriously ill more often? How come when we're young adults in our 20s, how come we don't develop, the huge burden of diseases like cancer and diabetes and heart disease more often? How come we don't develop these diseases until later in life? Well, asking that question inverts the entire thought process. If we knew why we don't get sick more often, then we can support those systems that keep us healthy. And so this is what I'm actually telling you. I've spent more than a decade studying this. And what I figured out is our immune system is more powerful than we ever thought. So powerful, in fact, that if we had cancer, our immune system can wipe it out, even if the cancer spreads. There is some biotech or pharmaceutical company working on it to develop some drugs. I will tell you that Mother Nature has beat drug companies to the punch because there are tons of foods, more than 200 foods that are right about my book, Eat to Beat Disease, that actually have the ability, proven ability through science and research to activate our health defenses. So I'll dive into them and tell you about some of the foods. Well, it turns out there are more than 100 different foods that have been studied. I've studied almost all of them that can enhance your body's ability to cut off the blood supply that might be feeding cancer. So you keep your good, healthy circulation, you prevent the extra blood vessels from feeding cancers. What are some of these foods? Tomatoes. Tomatoes contain a bioactive natural chemical called lycopene, and clinical studies have shown that tomatoes can reduce the risk of prostate cancer. Prostate cancer requires a blood supply in order to grow, to become a problem. That men who eat 2 to 3 servings of cooked tomatoes, tomato sauce, 2 to 3 times a week, actually have a 30% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. Why? Because the bioactive in the tomato sauce prevents the blood tumors from recruiting those blood vessels. Now, men that do develop prostate cancer, the more tomato sauce you eat, the less aggressive the prostate cancer actually is. So this has been studied, by the way, in 30,000 men. This is like a human study, not just a theoretical study. Another anti-angiogenic, cancer-starving food, soy. Now, there's an urban legend that soy actually causes breast cancer as a risk. Completely wrong. Urban legend. Soy contains phytosterols, which does have a plant estrogen, which looks nothing like human estrogen, blocks human estrogen. It's like a Mother Nature's tamoxifen. And studies have actually shown that eating soy lowers the risk of the danger of breast cancer. And in fact, it improves survival in women who actually have breast cancer. If you've got breast cancer or you're at risk for breast cancer, the more soy you eat, the lower your risk is, the better your survival. So other foods, black raspberries, cacao. I actually studied the chocolate that was used to make this, and we actually found that it kills leukemia cells and lymphoma cells. So dark chocolate also cuts off the blood supply feeding cancer. Pomegranate juice, green tea. I wanted to show you this. I'm actually rarely found without a cup of green tea around. This is whole leaf green tea, but you can use matcha, you can use iced tea, works as well as hot tea. I always tell a story in my book. I had a great uncle that lived to 104, and he lived at the base of a tea mountain, and every single day he drank like 6 cups of green tea and stayed very physically active, walking up the hills and trails as well. Green tea, by the way, has been shown to reduce the risk of colon cancer. Why? Because the polyphenols in green tea cut off the blood supply, feeding cancers. Now, one of the things that I've been studying is how much do you need to eat in order to get the benefit. We only have an hour here, so I can't go through every single one, but I want to show you. Blueberries are anti-angiogenic. I had some this morning for breakfast. Some of my favorites. Love blueberries. The color blueberries is made by anthocyanins, a natural dye. 1 cup a week. has been shown in human studies to fight breast cancer. Okay, also boost your immune system. Black raspberries, you need a little bit more if you are fighting bladder cancer. 7 cups a day of black raspberries can fight bladder cancer, but if you're trying to fight cardiovascular disease, it can also improve heart health as well. And you only need 4 individual berries a day. So again, food doses is something really cool that we're working on. Walnuts. Walnuts have been shown to help improve outcomes for colon cancer. Okay, if you're fighting colon cancer, how do you actually how do you improve your odds? How do you fight colon cancer better? Nuts contain fiber, which feed your gut microbiomes, also anti-androgenic. Turns out you need only 11 walnuts per week, 22 halves of walnuts. So think about that. You're watching Netflix and you're snacking on walnuts. If you have 22 of them over the course of a week, that's easy to do. That's, just 2 or 3 of them a day, 3 halves a day. That actually is a dose that's been effective, shown effective through studies, human studies, for colon cancer.